This is my mood.
I love it. So, what you just reminded me, I was going to start some music when we started, but we were talking so much, I forgot about it. I was going to have like your music playing because that's your thing.
You already, and like I be coming in with the Afro beat, Afro Latina energy. It's okay.
I like it. So how are you?
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to do this with you. I'm great. I feel really, really good. I got my life just before the call with my good sis.
I'm so glad. We've been trying to do this for 6 months.
Yes.
I want to formally introduce you. This is Ohavia Phillips. We love her here in Charlotte. She started out as a presence on the news, and then she broke away from the, just the realm of that and being contained. And at some point, you completely pulled away, discovered and pursued your authentic lane. And so that is why I wanted to have this conversation. You created your authentic lane and you ran with it. And so now, not only do you have a lane, but your name is literally on streets in the city because you are such an advocate for spreading and sharing love. Yeah. And so I really appreciate you being here because I just value your presence in the conversation.
Wow. I love you so much, sis. No, thank you for allowing me to be here again. We've been trying to get to this for like how long? So I'm so grateful. Like we found our day, and like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else tonight. So thank you.
Well, no problem. You look fabulous. I love your energy. It gives me energy. I almost put on my lashes because I'm like, damn, like I just didn't have enough time. Because I'm like, let me tell you something. There are no women that I will put on lashes for. I do it for Fox.
First of all, you're beautiful on Fox. So yeah.
Thank you. I do it for Fox, as you know, the news, and I do it for photo shoots. I don't do it for women. But you were someone I'm like, oh, Havia, she gonna have her lashes together, and so I need to have mine together. Jamal and me. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jamal. I love you, Jamal.
Hey, Jamal. Those are the lashes. So I can't wait to send him this. But I want to tell everybody how we met. Yes. So we met at Black Fathers Rock, and you were hosting, and I was trying desperately to hold all the awards during all the speeches. That's how we met. That was tragic.
She's not lying. She was like, and also had to present and, do the whole like Vanna Black thing. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
It was really difficult for me, but I'm so glad that Ryan involved us both in that so that we could come together and meet this way. I think that was divine order.
Yeah, 100%. No, literally, your personality. I was like, who is this woman? Our energies match. Sign me up. Sign me up. Ryan was like, you don't know Jackie? I said, not yet. And literally, we hit it off.
Yeah, Jamal was shocked that I didn't know who you were. And I'm like, well, introduce me to, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. When people are like, you got to meet this person, you're like, okay, whatever. So I was open, but I was like, all right, whatever. And so when he introduced me, I'm like, oh my God, she is captivating. Number one, you just exuded such a presence. Wow. Your presence was a little overwhelming at first. And I'm just like, number one, I thought I was boisterous and in your face and like energetic. And I'm like, she's completely hype. She is Flavor Flav of media. You need a big ass clock. Yeah, I love it. That's right. Boy. Yeah, so that's what I think of when I think of you.
Yeah. I love that so much.
Yeah, you are the Flavor Flav of media, especially in Charlotte. So you are just the hype person. That's why all these wonderful things are coming your way because people feel that. Yeah. And whether we're attracted to Flav or not, it doesn't matter because his energy permeates through everything he does.
Yeah.
And that's why he's on television.
Very true. And honestly, what's funny about using that reference? I actually pay for an app monthly to watch the old Flavor of Loves. So, yeah, I'm that person.
First of all, I don't pay, but I do watch them.
YouTube.com.
Yeah, honestly, do you watch it for business reasons or do you watch it for personal reasons?
Okay, so between you and I, it is honestly,
and everyone else.
Yeah, and everyone else. It's like to unplug. So I love Flavor of Love and Jerry Springer. And it's really to take my brain off of creating because as you can relate, Jackie, working in media and community, brain is always like, okay, how can we serve next? What can we do? So like by like investing in this one app, I'm able to like unplug. And it also holds me accountable because it tells me when the episodes are uploading. So it's like, okay, at this time, Ohavia, stop thinking, unplug, tap in, self-care. So that's myself.
Okay, so let me tell you this. I have never met anyone who feels the same way as Ratchet Television as I do. I do love and hip hop. I've got to
Okay.
go to YouTube and watch just the like all the clips.
The fights? Do you watch the brawls too?
I watch the fights because they take me away from my life. They take me away from they take me away from the day to day of being um in like engulfed in other
Yes,
people's trauma
that's real.
and their shit. And so I
Real.
need the ratchet stuff to
That's
make me
real.
laugh. Number one, to be like, oh, for real, she did that. I mean, what would she think?
Right.
What would go with a woman like that anyway? So I need it. I gotta see it over and over to question people, to shake my head, to text people memes. I gotta do that because
Right.
it takes me away from the stuff I want to displace myself.
Right. Right. 100%. No, I'm just glad that I'm able to get that out. And it's so funny because how I knew you were a safe space, usually I say Jerry Springer and people are like,
Oh
but
no,
you said, oh, yeah, no, totally. I was like, boom. See,
because whatever you need is what you need.
yeah,
And
100%.
to me, people that turn their nose up at that are the same people that are angry when you put up your Christmas lights in October.
First of all, me, I have all the colors of the rainbow on my tree right now. Okay, you saw the pillow. Let's get it. No,
Excuse
that's
me,
me.
back the holes.
Okay,
Okay.
Christmas is my favorite. I
I
skip
don't care.
everything just to get to Christmas. Don't play with
Yeah.
me.
So the reality is we just have to be comfortable doing what we want to do at that moment and then be
Yeah.
able to go with that. I want to draw attention to the idea that a lot of us as adults, we are actually operating in the realm of our younger selves,
Yeah.
okay? But we don't know it. So I want to know what childhood insecurities you feel like are surfacing in your adulthood.
Childhood insecurities
Yeah,
were
at
surfacing
least
in my
one.
at least one. I got you because I actually thought about this earlier. It's always having to be first, always having to have A plus, always having to be sought after, chosen. And here's what I mean by that. So, growing up, my mom is single mom, and it was five of us. She worked her tail off to put us like in the best. Like I went to private school,
Mhm.
summer camps. I was in ballet, tap, jazz, all the things. And what that was doing for me was, yes, it was setting me above the situations we were in. Of course, single parent household, and honestly growing up in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying, East New York, if anybody knows East New York, Canarsie, like it's not the best situation. But what I loved is my mom made all these sacrifices, but inadvertently what it did was kind of turn me into a type A personality. So everything is like meeting deadlines, got to have A's, got to be first. And so how that translate now into, 28, so from 8 to 28 is I'm finding like I'm always like, all right, gonna be the best, gonna and I'm putting all these stipulations on me. And sometimes I had to catch myself. Actually today it was overwhelming because I was like, okay, what's the rush, and to be 100 with you, it actually hit me today. I was pulled over by an officer for speeding,
Mhm.
and I don't know what it was about that moment, but he asked me, young lady, what is the rush? And when I tell you, Jackie, I was like,
Don't
and
rush.
seriously. And so I like sat back in my chair and I was like, what is the rush? Right. And so long story short, shout out to that lieutenant. I forgot his name, but he's great. He says, stop rushing,
Mhm.
stop speeding. Now I'm gonna let you go. But like he didn't even know what he's sewn into me today. I was like, oh yeah, what is the rush? So I feel like I needed that moment to kind of check me with how fast and sharp I move. And sometimes I just gotta sit and relax. To me.
You gave me something, so let me use this as
Yeah.
like a metaphor, and just to add on to what you're saying.
Mhm.
I realized a couple days ago that I have accumulated a series of scratches on my arm, scratches that have broken the skin. So I have bled and didn't even know, right? Then I have a scar here. If you could see that, can you see that
I
scar?
can. Yeah.
It's pretty large. And the
Yeah.
scar came from a piece of plastic while I was putting away groceries. And so, when you're talking about the rushing and you need to stop rushing, stop rushing. I'm thinking about how I operate when I'm stressed. And I literally move so fast, I don't realize the harm that I'm causing myself
Yeah.
till afterwards, physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
So this relates to relationships, friendships, the way you
Yeah.
respond to people, being quick to text people back. Anyway, being quick to call people back.
I don't
Not
want to leave anybody like leave y'all. Like,
Yes. Yeah, Well, because it's that need to get things done, but you've already validated where that comes from. And
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I have the scars to prove that I'm moving too damn fast.
100.
So maybe if I stop and process through my actions, I won't wind up with scars. Like, while you were saying this, I'm like, damn, the other day, my son was like, "What happened to your arm?" And I said, "You know what? I don't even know." And he was
I
like,
don't
"Oh,
know.
you're always getting hurt." And when he
Wow.
said that, I'm like, hmm,
Yeah.
what is, there's something there in that.
Yeah. You're right.
It
You're
doesn't matter
right.
that he doesn't know what happens. What the child recognizes as someone who observes me is it's
You're
always
always hurt. Yeah. You're always
yeah.
like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the reality is I'm moving too fast for the simple fact that he's accumulated this idea in his head of she just does this. This
Yeah.
is now how I associate who I associate my mom with or as, someone
Yeah.
who's causing harm to themselves inadvertently,
Yeah.
knowingly. And so I thought about the long-term effects, and we do that for ourselves.
First of all, get out of my business.
You feel attacked?
I was minding my business. Okay, drinking my
Yeah.
water, real slick. You ain't have to come up in here
But
on
you
the
know
live.
what that is? When we're uncomfortable with things, we call it busy. Sometimes, do you hear me?
Let me tell you something. Yes.
Okay. When somebody calls you and you don't want to talk to them, I'm busy. But it's not that you're busy. Of course, you have the right to say, I don't feel like
Yeah.
talking right now, or nah, I'm doing something. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you convince yourself you're busy, that's where the problem lies.
That's different. That's
Well,
very
we
different.
don't want to feel our feelings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we call it busy.
I just won't pick up
Okay. You don't pick up.
or text back. Like you, because that's the thing. Like me telling someone like, "Oh, I'm not in the mood." I'll to be
Mhm.
100, I would feel bad. I'm like, dang, because they didn't do anything to me. It's just I really want to get this done and need the headspace for it, but also I need to make sure I'm straight. So like, I'm not gonna hit them with the, oh, don't feel like it. I just like will go
That's
silent.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
your perspective, okay? Because I have the
Yeah.
opposite. My perspective is, so you just gonna ignore me? And ignoring is rude to me. So I would rather someone, like, I got a homeboy where I'm like, "Can you talk?" And he'll literally just say no. And I know what no means. It means no. No, I
Yeah.
can't talk. Now he may,
No.
sometimes he waits and says, "Well, what's up?" If I don't say anything. And if I do say something, a lot of times I beat him to it and I'm like, "Oh, never mind, it wasn't that important." He'll say, "Okay, I'll talk to you later." I have
Yeah.
no feelings about it because I realize he doesn't want to ignore me. But sometimes just think about the person on the other end may actually feel like it's more derogatory when you do not respond at all versus just honestly saying, "I just don't feel like talking."
True. I just don't want to give them that energy. And I guess that's also another element to it of like that's another element is like, okay, I pick up and I'm like, "What's up, Jackie?" I don't want to give you that either because you ain't doing nothing. It's just
Oh,
50
don't pick up.
deliverables in 15 minutes.
What I do is I don't pick up, but I'll text. "Hey, I see that you called. I'm not really in the mood to talk. Everything okay?" Because I do want to know. Because sometimes people hit you with the, "Hey, I had something going on and you weren't
Yeah.
there." So I did learn that. But anyway, moving
Yeah.
right along, I had another question I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
specifically. Okay. I want to know, if I am your childhood self and you are right here having a conversation with your childhood self,
Yeah.
what are you wanting to tell your childhood self about authenticity?
They're going to tell you you're too much. Don't believe them. Keep doing it.
Don't they always tell us that?
They always tell us that.
But have
They're
you
like,
noticed this? Have you noticed this? It's usually people who don't have that energy telling you you have too much energy.
I have gotten the too much energy at which I was like, that's cute. You're going to be my friend by the end of the night. So you just played yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I think if that was one thing that I had to tell my younger self is don't bend, don't break. They're going to say you're too much, but keep doing it because I feel like when I hit 21, when I got to college, I was telling myself a lot not to take up space. I was like, Ohavia, don't come in here. Don't be extra. Just relax. And that was at
No,
21.
don't
Then
be extra,
something,
just
don't be
relax.
extra, Ohavia. Don't
How
go
did that
hugging
work?
everybody.
How did that work? It,
It
it
didn't.
didn't, did it?
It didn't. Because I would be in lecture hall, like, I want to hug everybody. Everybody's my friend. You know what I'm saying? So something broke off of me by the time I graduated senior year in college. And I was like, Listen, at bare minimum, I want to do something in media, but at bare minimum, I love people. Why was I forced to hide that? And so at 28 now, well, honestly, 25 is when I decided like y'all gonna get this energy regardless. I don't care if you take it or not, take it or leave it. But for real, Jackie, I'm so grateful to say, like, in every space, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get a dance, you're gonna
Yes,
get a
y'all
hug.
gonna get it everywhere. Okay. You're gonna get it on Instagram Live. You're gonna get it when she come over your house. You're gonna get. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about that. I want to tell people. So, girl, let me tell you something. When I realized you were really about that life,
Yeah.
when I told you that I needed your help, and I had wanted to tackle this at some point, right? Because
Yeah.
part of what I do, and I don't know if you've seen a full segment that I've done, but part of what I like to do is I like to tell the individual why I invited them to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I like to tell you what it is that I receive from you energy wise,
Yeah.
which connects me to you, right? And so we have known each other under a year,
Yeah.
but the simple fact that I felt that even though we weren't good girlfriends, we never hung out, I could call you and say, I need help with this. And you are the person that I need to ask because I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you were so receptive and open with your talent and your
Wow.
skill to lend to me, to lend it, because you know it has value. And I fully recognize that
You
and
did.
accept that.
You did. Also, I would like for the people to know you did offer me money, at which I said no, ma'am.
Yes,
I
you
said
did.
no.
You
And
did.
yeah.
Because you know why, baby? Because Black people need to stop trying to get over on Black people,
Yeah.
especially your damn friends.
Yeah.
Asking for a discount is not reassuring me of how great of friends we are. It
Also,
really,
very disrespectful to the
I
gift.
think it is
Very
too. Yeah.
disrespectful.
Business wise, yes, it's insulting.
Yeah.
So listen, y'all, when you're supporting us, don't ask us for discounts. If you want us to speak at your events, please don't ask us for discounts. Please pretend as if there's no discount
You
conversation.
don't know me. You
Yeah,
don't know me.
you clearly don't. If
Ohavia?
you're
No, I don't
asking
know who
for a
that is.
damn
Who's
discount,
Jackie? No, no.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think
Well,
no, that's not her. So I think that that's necessary to bring about because I find that, and you tell me if you feel the same. Like I'm not in this. I have not been in the public space the way you have for the amount of time. However, the little time that I've been there, I just realized people are going to try to get what they can from you at at the rate at which they think it's worth and what they feel comfortable giving,
yeah.
not at what your value is.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
100% Jackie. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. So, something, because I am such a lover of people, it's easy for me to serve and not look for anything in return. Like to know, hey, is to know, oh, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to serve. But what was happening was I was realizing some people took hold of that and would take advantage of it.
You ran.
Now, here's what I'm a huge proponent of. Don't ever allow anybody to change your heartbeat, right? If you
Mhm.
love people, keep loving people. If you love being in places and serving for free, do that. But
Yeah.
you got to ebb and flow, right? And I feel like sometimes people will let you know who they are. So what was happening to me, Jackie, even with this awesome example you gave, was I noticed that there was a couple people that knew Ohavia liked to serve. And here I was just serving my tail off, and they were
Yep.
like, have a good one. And what I noticed was serving wasn't 30 minutes. Nah, serving wasn't even an hour. I'll be okay with that. Serving would be
Yeah.
like weeks, days. And I'm like, you, you, you taking advantage? You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
so what was happening was this big heart of mine was forced to pivot. And you could speak to this. It's like, what do you do when your heart doesn't beat that way? So here I was like, you're forcing me to tell you no when you should already know no because you
Hard.
should already love me. You know what I'm saying? It was weird
It's
and hurtful.
conflictual. It's conflictual. It's hurtful, and it causes you to feel used and drained to where you don't want to trust people.
Right.
It also causes you to second guess everyone because you want to know what the hell are they going to want from me a year from now.
Yes.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
what I had to learn from the person who mentored me, Rashawn Miller. Shout out to Rashawn. He
Oh,
mentored
shout
me.
out Rashad.
You know Rashawn? Rashawn Miller with the speaking stuff has mentored me. We did a Facebook Live and I brought that up and he was saying, you know, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to let everybody know. He said this on the live. And I said, no, I do have to let everyone know. And since you allow it now, I want everybody to know that
Yeah.
Rashawn took me under his wing, noticed something in me and was like, you know, I want to pour into you. And so he did that and he's still doing that. Shout out to Rashawn. Shout out.
Shout
Um,
out one time for the 2 times. So I follow him, but I never met him in person. But when I tell you, sharp, amazing. That's a very dope mentor to have, ma'am. Period.
Yeah, he's great. He's my friend. So I use him for his services. He know that. I tell him that. Like thank you. Because I told
Yeah,
everybody on the Facebook Live, if y'all are interested in his services, I don't know how much he charges because I don't pay. And so
but if
I
you would
offered.
like to pay,
I
see
offered.
the
Yeah. But I offered Ohavia, I offered him too in the beginning. I'm like, yo, your service is worth money. So how much do you want for this? Because I've
yeah,
gone to other people and
yeah,
people that were actual coaches who they do this for a living. And
yeah,
Rashawn doesn't. He just wanted to pass off some of his skill and talent to
yeah,
somebody that he felt the need to connect with and pour into. And so
yeah,
I am grateful for y'all. I just love those connections. And it is a blessing
yeah,
to be able to reach out to someone who you've never sat down with and
yeah,
had a real conversation about life and say, listen, I know this might sound forward, but I do need you. I need your body.
yeah. And here's why I love that, sis, because it's actually humbling, but it's good for us to be able to be like, I need help. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you where I got like that very it was humbling and uncomfortable, but I didn't know I needed. It was my first show. I didn't have no bread to pay nobody. And I was like,
Okay.
I need all hands on deck with the homies. And to have them help me with me being as broke as I was 2 years ago, I
Mhm.
didn't realize how that actually shaped me not only to give more, but also receive, right? Because I I'm saying had like it's past tense. I
Mhm.
still struggle with receiving. Like sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Um, that also can be traced back to a lot of people's childhood. So you'll have to
Okay.
think about what is it in your childhood that you may not have received that you needed, right? And
Yeah.
you may have developed this wall of defense to receiving things and not even known it. So
Yeah.
now you're uncomfortable with the constant giving. I know that for me, um, me being adopted by a mother who did not outwardly express so much affection and
Yeah.
she wasn't fluffy. She knows that. Everyone
Yeah.
knows that. My
Yeah.
mom, I get a lot of my toughness from her. God bless
Yeah.
her, but she wasn't fluffy.
Me too.
Okay, so listen, baby. Once I turned like 17, I don't remember receiving gifts. I remember money. Like my mom being like, "The money's in your account."
We might be related. I don't know.
Listen, my friends were mortified. Like, your mom didn't give you anything for Christmas. I'm like, yeah, she did. She gave me a check.
Right.
Like,
I don't
okay. So now when I met my birth mother, and she wanted to, girl, I would take a shower at her house and I would come out and there's like a watch on the counter and
Ooh.
necklaces and things. And at some point I wound up breaking down and in tears. And that was
Wow.
my trauma resurfacing and me telling her, stop it. You have to stop it. And
Wow.
so we both wound up in tears where I'm saying, stop, I can't. And she's saying, stop, I have to.
I
I
have to.
I missed your whole life. So I don't know. There are moments, I know it can get intense, but everything can come back to the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just have to pause in those moments and feel the feelings and
Yeah.
not be so busy
Yeah.
that you can't take time to understand.
It's true. And I think that what this conversation has really inspired me to do is realize like how much of those experiences as a child, so like
Mhm.
being in dance, first place and everything, is translating now from 8 again to 28. And it's like, it's funny because if you really sit and think about it, there's a lot of those influences in you being 28,
Mhm.
38, 48, etc. But
Mhm.
like it wasn't until this conversation I was like, dang, you know what? Always having to be first place.
You have the need to achieve.
That's exactly what
And
but I
so,
always achieve. So that's why I'm like, let's keep doing this.
okay. So mine was I was in all those activities, but I was one of four kids. So
Okay.
my
I'm
need
one of
to
five. Yeah.
Okay, my that there it is. My need to achieve actually came because they were so talented,
Yeah.
their own specific things, and I never felt like I had one thing to myself.
Heard.
So I
Okay.
did everything. Like my older brother was into music. He could listen by ear, play by ear, everything. He
Yeah.
never had to read music. My little brother directed an adult choir at church when he was 13. He was musically inclined. He sang. He was in
He
competition.
said
Girl, he sang, honey. He sang.
he says sang with an A in it. Y'all heard?
Sang. Okay, I sung, he sang. So he was a singer. So they all had that. My sister had basketball.
Yeah.
They used to call her Angela Bassett in the neighborhood because she had arm strength, she had muscle, and she was built.
Yeah.
like a little Angela So people knew them for these talents.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had one lane.
Yeah.
So look at me now. I overcompensate by picking up everything that I think I can put my hands on
Yeah.
and just trying to do well at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
have one specific thing except now for maybe being more boisterous in the
Yeah.
media about mental health. That seems
Yeah.
to be my skill right now.
Which you do an amazing job at, by the way.
Appreciate that. I really do.
You do. You
I
do.
battle with that a little bit.
Which
You know,
part?
sometimes I feel like I walk away from something I've said and I'm like, man, maybe that was too much, Jackie. And
Well,
honestly,
don't ask me because I'm gonna tell you there's no such thing.
that's true. You would say that.
I mean, because here's the thing: first take is authentic, second is practice, third is not you. So
Okay. They're all me. They are. The everything I do about like hoarding the Lysol and like what mistakes women make, and I say, hey, I've done this. The stop, drop, and roll video when I talked about how women stop, drop, and roll for a man. I'm a repeat offender. I have learned from my mistakes. I'm out
yeah,
on parole. I'm trying to prove that I can live my life differently. Yeah, I'm on the parole stages of this
heard, heard,
relationship stuff. I'm trying to prove that I'm
heard,
not my old self.
heard you.
I don't know what heard you means.
Woo!
We
Heard
can
you.
move
Heard
on.
you is a New York colloquialism for got it
Okay,
or
thank you.
received or yeah.
Okay.
Heard you with a JU. Heard you.
So let me ask you this: have you been to therapy?
I have once. I
How
have
did that
once.
go?
It wasn't very pleasurable. It was attached to a church I was going to at the time, and I was dating this guy. We all went to the same church, and I guess I called myself trying to ayanla my own life, and I
Okay.
thought that going, to a place where we already was in church was easy grab, right? They know me. Here we are. We serve in the same church. Boom. Little did I know, Jackie. Honestly, that was the worst decision ever because I think they were too close. And I also think because of that closeness, it was like, oh, I don't know how I could receive this from them.
You
So
went to a
long story
pastor in the
short,
church or
huh?
somebody in the church? You went to someone in the church to seek counseling?
So, yeah, but that's the thing. I went to this church. So it was just
Okay.
to me, hindsight 2020, it was a bad idea. I should have went outside of my church.
Okay, I will say this. I've done a whole thing about this and I'm not going to feed this to you now, but look,
Yeah.
all pastors are not therapists. Some pastors are certified in counseling, yes.
Yeah.
But if it's ever your pastor, don't ever consider your pastor your therapist. Always
True.
find someone else who has an unbiased opinion outside of your church, because your pastor will still give a biased opinion based on what they believe in
Yeah.
spiritually and then
Yeah.
knowing you or anyone else.
I needed you years
10,
ago.
10 years ago. Okay.
I was like, I needed you like 7 to 10 years ago because literally,
Okay.
I remember, I kid you not, Jackie. I remember sitting in the seat. I pulled up to church, sat in the seat, and was like, this doesn't feel right. But at the time, I was like, well, they know me, so this should be smooth. But I will say this: that's what led me to a better therapist who was neutral, who gave amazing advice, and what led to my healing, what really catapulted my healing. But I ain't gonna hold you. I should have skipped.
That's okay. I mean, the power comes in the knowing.
Yeah, yeah,
Power comes in knowing
yeah,
with all things. Just like the
yeah.
conversation
That's
we had
good.
before we got on here, that you have more power now because
Yeah,
you know more.
yeah.
So when you find out even more of what you want to know, you will have more power. And then power gives us decision making control.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, you don't have real control with decision making if you have no power and you have no facts and no information,
Yeah.
to build on. So,
Very true. Very
uh,
true. And I will say this, and that's what I love about this conversation is it's authentic, it's real, but also it's like giving yourself that power back. You know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah,
identifying what that is, but then once you do, be honest and actually pivot and change. And that's
yes.
another thing too, sis, is we use pivot for COVID, but honestly, that could be used for our lives. It's like
Pivot is your favorite word, by the way. Pivot, I
pivot.
think.
I love a good pivot only because it has an O in it.
Oh,
Pivot.
okay. And that's OHKAY, everyone. I know how to spell this stuff now, everything. I
You
know
know
how to
what? I'm
spell it.
so grateful for my loving community who knows when it's coming. They be like, oh God, she about to put OH in this. And I'm like, you betcha.
I love it. Okay, so tell people where to find you and what you're working on now and, where your stuff is.
Absolutely. So Jackie says, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. You all can find me at Ohavia Phillips on the lower third everywhere. Kept it real simple because I love my name. It means to love in Hebrew, which is why lead with love is almost full circle to something
Yes.
spiritual in life. But
Yes.
yes, friends, you can follow me at Ohavia Phillips on all social media. Also, my YouTube channel for my talk show is the O Show, OH Show. We have amazing conversations with people in the city doing amazing things and beyond. So blessed for so many doors opening. And it's not for me, it's to bring those heavyweights in the community with me. So yeah, I'm just so blessed. And Jackie, thank you. And I'm gonna put you on a retainer since you know what I'm saying, you want to be in my business.
I'm just telling you what I know
Be
to
in my
help you,
business.
to help elevate you. And
Oh,
I will say that I was so proud when I saw the talk you did with Eric Thomas, because
yeah.
that was major. How did that happen? Please tell
So
me.
here's the thing. Honestly, it's a classic case of if you want something, go after it.
Yes.
I DM'd this man. I emailed this man. I did all of the things. And you work in media, you know the things that were taught
Yes.
101. Email, DM, just stay on it. And literally, I would like the record to show that Eric Thomas is the mentor in my head. And one day I cannot wait like to get his yes for that because he's everything for me. So yeah, it was just a classic story of I don't care what nobody say, I'm not letting up. He gonna get this energy. And one day he saw it and he told me, he was like, I see your energy. And I bawled like a baby. How I got him on my show was I was like, mentor, speaking it in existence. Mentor,
You
can I borrow
gonna
5 minutes?
adopt me.
Huh?
You gonna adopt me now.
Mentor, can I borrow 5 minutes of your time? Like, are you busy? And I'm so blessed. Like, he was like, Ohavia, 5 minutes, boom. He hopped on with me. I sewed into him because I do believe in sewing for people's time. So I did pay him for that time because I love this man. I admire him, his wife, the whole brand. And so did that. He gave me more than 5 minutes, but little did I know, like, that 5 minutes would impact my life. So
Yes.
Eric Thomas is a mentor in my head, but somebody tell him stop playing with me because let me tell you something. I love this man. I love his wife. I love like the whole like ET brand. Like one thing is gonna happen. Matter of fact, can we do a part 2 so I could give them the testimony that it happened?
I can get you on my schedule. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't take 6 months. I'm gonna call your ass out. I just hope it. I'm sorry, but y'all getting on my nerves.
But it did take 6 months. Remember
It
La
did.
Lona from your house? So
Listen,
from when we linked up to like
look,
now,
no,
it was La
not
Lona.
just linked up. Let's call it what it is. From when you made the banner for my YouTube page, okay? Because Ohavia did that shit. She did it over here in my house, and I rushed her out because I was going on a date. So, and I appreciate.
Oh, is that the reason? Now it comes out.
But that was something that I just told you about before we got on the thing. So this was 6 months ago that I saw you. So there was something going on for 7, 8 months. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So that okay. So full circle. So basically, Ohavia sat at my dining room table in her. Oh yeah, I was gonna touch on that. In her yellow jacket and shorts, linen, probably linen. Was it?
It was linen, sis. Yeah.
Fire, because it was fire. That's what it was. Were her lashes, and I was like, I remember I was like, oh, hey, did you just come from your somewhere, or you came from your house? And you were like, oh no, sis, like I do this, like this is what I do.
I actually was like, I do this since I came for you, and she was like,
okay, you put on your lashes before you came here, and you was like, no, I do that first thing, like the lashes.
I pray. I'd be like, Lord, thank you for this day, our daily bread. Boom.
Listen,
thank you, Lord.
You ain't gonna have me passing out under this hot ass ring light, girl. Listen, because
Lord, thank you for all the blessings.
I wanted to tell people that you came. You presented yourself. You were like a package. I'm like, all right, since I got the package here, I need help with that. Like you were like, you need to do this, do that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm hands on. Like I can't. This is a lot. I'm overwhelmed. And you were like, okay, give it to me. I'll do it. And you did it. I remember I went and took a shower, and I'm like, is it okay if I just leave you down here?
And I said, honestly, that's probably best because I'm gonna go in. And I was like, in the dining room table, y'all like, okay, this has to be perfect. I got a mess.
I appreciate what you poured into me, because to me, that was you showing me the value that you think I had.
Absolutely.
That's how I felt. I felt like you wouldn't have done that if you didn't see value in me.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, sis. I think for me, and more women need to do that. Yeah. You don't have to prove anything to me. I felt what I felt and it was accurate. You don't have to run your resume. I don't need to know who you know. Here is a woman who shows up for communities, not only in her degree and as an author with her son, how candid she is, how could I not? You know what I'm saying? That's why she was trying to throw me bread, y'all. I said, no. Like, let me, for real, like, let me help. Like, I love graphics. Let me help at bare minimum. Like, of course, there's people better than me, but I wasn't concerned. I was like, to get you started,
Yeah, I
what
didn't
can
care.
I do?
And so I'm gonna tell you that you and Rashawn are actually the two people that I thought of when I kicked the YouTube channel in gear.
Yeah.
Because Rashawn actually said to me, see, remember you did the banner, and then a couple weeks ago, Rashawn said, why aren't these talks on YouTube? Are you recording them? And he said, Jackie, at some point, consider transitioning out of Facebook Live and stuff to YouTube.
Yeah.
And every time Rashawn says something to me, I'm like, damn.
We all got that one.
When he says it, it's time to move.
Yeah.
And so he knows this because I've told this to him, but now everybody knows. Like, you want to make sure. Look, I think of Rashawn as like Diddy of mental health.
Yeah.
If you were in a room, you're the Flavor Flav of media, and Rashawn is the Diddy of mental health. Meaning, Diddy gives so many gems to people around him.
Yeah.
Just in go walking past them.
Yeah.
Right. Rashawn, if you just sit and listen to what he's saying for 2 minutes, and just shut up, you will learn so much.
So much.
So when he tells me stuff, I'm like, okay. And I'll tell him I have an attitude, and he'll say, I know.
And you'll be fine.
I know that. And I'm like, yeah, because every time you tell me to do something, I got to spend money, and then I got to go do something. And he's like, yeah, but you get it done, though.
But you're going to get it done. How about that?
So you were like, you need to get this going with the YouTube thing. And when I questioned myself, you were saying, no, you already established who you are. People could tell this. You went and looked at my Instagram, and I really appreciated that. And you said, no, sis, this is on point with what you said you want to do. So you just need to continue to do that. And then the rest will just happen. And I want to tell you, last month, I established my first check public speaking. And I was so grateful to you and him because it took 11 months of cultivation and walking in my purpose. But once you put that good work in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no feeling like it.
Yeah.
There's no feeling like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So when people are looking at me and they're like, oh, you're doing this, that, and this, you're doing Fox, like this is part of the script, baby. This is the blueprint.
Right.
To get me where I'm trying to get to.
Right.
So yes, I'm not just doing that. This is purposeful.
Yeah. Purposeful work.
Yeah, it's purposeful. You do the same. And so I see you. So I just wanted, I wanted to have this conversation. I was dying to have it because your energy is a rare energy. And for me to meet somebody who has me kind of subdued, like, oh, okay. I'm like, let me tell y'all about the Lysol that I just ordered in self-checkout. And they didn't get it. And so I'm thinking, people are like, Jackie, you're a lot.
Listen, be a lot.
Okay, be a lot. That's a whole word. Be a lot, and no is a complete sentence.
Be a lot. Okay, I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. OH, everyone. That's OH-LOT.
Okay.
Okay, so hashtag amazing. OHMAZING.
Yes.
That's your thing.
Amazing.
So I want to find her, just like search hashtag amazing or
no, literally.
Just spell her name. And just like Rashawn, if you know how to spell his name, if you know how to spell her name, OHAVIA.
Yes.
And you can find her anywhere. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I want to do it again. So
deal. Part 2, because I got to give you the updates. Yes.
Okay, so we'll set a date this weekend. And I love you. I do.
I love you. I love you so much, sis. Thank you for everything. I'm such a proud friend. And whenever you need me, don't offer me no bread because it's an honor to serve my sis.
I won't anymore. You don't have to tell me anymore. Thanks.
All right.
One time is enough. All right. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you later.
Love you, sis. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.